Cheers. You know what? You know when like
stand.
like a boat. If a boat is like taking off, I don't know if this is catching me, but you know when a boat is taking off and they crack like the wine bottle.
Yeah.
And like this is
Yeah.
kickoff. Sunglasses.
So I'm recording now, yeah.
Sunglasses and everything, you know.
So you have to stand out. You have to stand out.
Okay.
All right.
That's interesting, you know.
All right. So I mean, like there's no like kind of official way to kind of start this or kickstart this, but here we are, kind of actually doing this. This was a conversation that we had, not like crazy long ago, but I think it kind of it fits into like a lot of who we are as people and like a lot of what we have to offer our generation, offer the world. But we're here because we're people that want to build a community of like-minded people, build a community of people who want to get to the top of what they're doing. Hence,
100%.
Right.
hence the name Mama I Want to Be a Star.
Oh, that's the name. I didn't know that.
No,
Mama wants to be a star.
knew the name, but like, but behind the name, like,
Right.
Yeah.
we can all kind of add to this. But the what the name says for me really is like, there are people who want to like really be at the pinnacle of where, pinnacle of their industry, at the pinnacle of what they're doing as people, and this is essentially building that community, but also kind of in doing our best to invest in that, bringing access to the experts, whether it's the entertainment industry, whether it's business, it's tech, it's
Fashion, whatever.
all of those things. Like, it's just how do we have access to those people and bring as many things as people need to get to where they need to get to in that sphere, in those industries, onto the platform. And we'll do our best, not as experts, but as people who just want to ourselves first grow, but also kind of bring as much information and as much content and as much fun for people.
Right.
What does that name mean to you guys?
Hold on.
You know what? Mama I Want to Be a Star, it's nostalgic in a way, because it's kind of like making you think back on the goals that you've had. You know, when you're younger, you're thinking there are things that you want to do. That name sort of like brings you back. You're thinking, I want to be an athlete.
Yeah.
I remember when I was young, I wanted to be an athlete.
Yeah.
I was a sprinter,
Okay. 100, 200.
100 meters.
50
You
meters.
couldn't catch
What's
me.
your time?
You could not catch me.
What's your time?
Don't worry about that.
What's the time?
Don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all that. Don't worry about all
You were
that.
just running. You was running.
Wait, I was right, but Mama, I want to be a star, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you then get from that point to, being on the Olympics and running the 100 meters in front of have 1 billion, 2 billion people? How do you do that?
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
That's what it means to me.
I hear that, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man. For me, that's so awkward. Anyways, so yeah, for me, it's like, Mama Want to Be a Star. I think that I like the idea. Definitely, I like the concept. I like the fact that you came up with the idea, and that you really want to help like the young people, the young generation, on how to become like a star in whatever field they're trying to become a star in. And yeah, man, I like the name. And yeah, we definitely gonna go deeper in this topic. And I know I can't wait for the next 10 or 20 episodes. I don't know how many episodes we're gonna make, but what I do know is that it will be amazing, and all of us it will be a banging, show. And yeah, I can't wait to really push this thing forward.
Yeah. Sounds good, man.
Right. My turn now.
Yeah, go do it.
Well, Mama I Want to Be a Star. So what is the concept of what does being a star mean to to each individual, right? So we, like you said, it brings a nostalgic feeling from growing up till even now. A star insinuates a star in any sphere of life insinuates that you want to be at the top of your sphere, right? So the people we regard as stars, like in music, in fashion, in football, whatever, in podcasting. When somebody's giving that title a star, that means you're at a particular pinnacle of something, because there are a bunch of people doing podcasting that are not stars. There are a bunch of people, bunch of footballers or athletes that are not stars. There are a bunch of there are runners that ran with Usain Bolt. They are athletes, but they are not stars, right? So that's name Mama I Made It. Mama I Want to Be a Star.
Do you know what's funny? That's actually
Yes.
Mama I
I
Made
Made It.
It was another like
Something you
thing that I was
thought
thinking. I
about.
was like, as
Yeah.
you just touched on that.
Right,
Like,
so Mama I
What
Want
is
to
that? You want to be able to say that.
Right. Mama, I want to be a star. You know, it's also
You wanna
something
be-
that growing up, you know, Mom, when I become a star, I will buy
Yeah.
you this, I'll buy you that. So it's very nostalgic, the term itself. And it's something a lot of people can relate to. You know.
If you look like it's already, as if you
Right?
won 5
Yo,
grand.
I know.
Like,
Coming up with
You
a
guys
dark
want
shade.
you want to whine me.
He didn't give us the memo, you know.
Yo, I would.
You want to whine. You have to stand out now.
No, for sure.
You have to
No,
stand
but
out.
you're an expert in this game.
You have to, here we go.
But
We're stars.
But like, I mean, I know we had like, as far as like what could have been discussed. Just a random question just popped in my mind as you were saying that. Do you guys find that the people that you idolized when you were younger are they still the same people that are your role models till today? Did you have when you were young? Did you have like people that you were like, wow, that person really like?
You know
marks
what?
it
Yeah,
for me?
should I tell you something?
Right.
You know who I used to really idolize? Yeah, but today I regret this idolizing this guy. Yeah,
Michael Jackson.
it's no man, it's P Diddy.
I mean,
You know what? P Diddy, yeah. This guy when he came up, hey, you need to think this guy was in his 20s, got all boys and girls together and really built an empire in it. And that music was just iconic until this day. Like, but what he's doing right now is just like, you know, it's very interesting. Like for me, I always ask my question like, what happened? You know what I mean? And what led to this? And I don't know what you guys think like about it. What is your opinion on what could have happened?
Yeah, that's
Do you-
interesting, you know.
do you want to just explain like
Well,
what,
yeah.
where is he now? Like what?
Yeah, I mean, like
Very
the fact
simple.
that he's like has a lot of like sex trafficking, you know, charges, racketeering, and a lot of like criminal charges behind him, and so many scandals regarding the whole. You know, we don't really know what he really did.
Yeah.
So it's just so much coming out in regards to who he could have slept with, what he could have done, who he could have killed, and all that stuff. And it's very interesting to see like how a lot of money. It's not money doesn't really corrupt you, right? But money really brings out of who you really are.
Yeah.
Because money really allows you really to. If you want to be wicked, you can become wicked. Like if you have like 100 million, 20 million, like not 100 or 20 million. But if you really want to become a good person with the money, you can also become very good with it. So it's just like my question is just literally what happened in between when he was 20 till how old is he now?
He's in
Like
his 50s.
30, yeah.
He's in
No,
his
no,
50s.
50.
I think.
I don't know, but yeah, gone.
I think he in his case, for example, because I use case study on Diddy. In his cases, it's not really about money per se, because money is not a bad thing. I think the mismanagement of it is what is bad.
That's a word.
Using Diddy falling from grace, it's not. This is not new. This is not new. Somebody that's been at the top of the pinnacle falling down is not new. It has happened from the beginning of time. We can use Lucifer as an example. The falling star. He was a star. He was the biggest cherubim.
Yeah.
It was a star.
And he fell from grace.
It was a star.
He's not the first. He's not the first. Diddy is not the first. Spiritually, it happens.
Naturally.
It naturally
That's
happens.
a good point. That's a good point.
So, but the thing is, the mismanagement of anything will lead to a fall. I think there's a lot of things we can learn from. I think a lot of people are focusing on more of the negatives. He's not the first person to do what he's doing. He's not the first person. There are people that are still, as time goes on, more people would,
But don't you think also this goes to show that much of what is seen it's not real. Because
touch on things that I've been like
Because-
thinking about.
let's really deep it.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, this was your idol.
Yeah.
So you're idolizing these people. Even the people that you're thinking now are saints. How long before we find out the real story?
They hear that though.
But then that sort of also goes back on the point we're making about
Yeah.
Mama, I Want to Be a Star. It's how much you have to prepare yourself for that stardom.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about the skills that you have to bring to the table, or it's about the the work you have to put in. there's a real talk about character here, because if your
Right.
character starts corrupting early, it might be something you're doing hidden, but one day, when you get to that pinnacle, somebody could just come and be like, oh, that thing you did 30 years
But
ago.
that leads me to one question, yeah? You said character building and preparation, right? But then how much can you really prepare?
That's a
like,
good-
you know
that's
what
a
I'm
good
saying?
point.
Because earlier you made like some fantastic point in regards to the 20K. Because if you have never seen 20K,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And
You've
then
never
this-
seen 20K.
Exactly. And all of a sudden, you don't know what to do with the
don't know what to do
20K
with
and you get crazy.
That's true.
So the question is like, what happens if you come to a place where, you know, millions of people are following, they're worshiping you, they say, like, you're fantastic, your ego get boasted, you know, you come up. So how do you handle with this?
But you know,
You know?
what though?
Go on.
So here's part of why I think the idea of this platform can be powerful is that aspect of development is oftentimes missing when stars or when people who are kind of destined to go to the top are being developed. There aren't a lot of institutions aside the church, but there aren't a lot of institutions that develop the character of the people that are going to be stars. For example, there's a school called the Brit School, and that's the school that what's the name? Adele came from.
Oh, is
It's
it?
the
Yeah.
school
Oh,
that
wow.
that Tom Holland came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same school that the lady who did Back to Black,
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse came from. KTB came from. Bashi came, like a lot of the stars that come out into
Yeah.
the United Kingdom like entertainment scene came from there. But a lot of schools are going to be focusing on just the skills aspect.
skills.
It's that character aspect that oftentimes is crazy. And like based on what you guys are saying, like for me, when I think about the Diddy thing, which what you said was so powerful, like facade, like if we break down what actually happened, you have P Diddy, who is this larger than life master of promotion, the first billionaire in like from the entertainment industry, that black entertainment industry, the first billionaire. So everybody's like on the outside, this guy is the guy.
He's doing everything.
He's doing everything.
Take that.
Take that. He's a producer extraordinaire. He's a business guy extraordinaire. He's all these things. But there are some things that weren't worked on
Yeah.
that 30 years down the line, 40 years down the line, some indulgences led to some indulgences, and then all of a sudden that very thing that wasn't touched on has toppled the entire.
But would you also say that because, for instance, bad company corrupts good character, right?
Okay.
Right.
Now, when you throw in $200-300 million
400,
500 million
$6 of bill.
to bad company,
Yeah.
the fact is that you couldn't buy almost anybody on this planet with that amount of money. Most people would throw away morals for that amount of money.
Right.
But that's the crazy thing is then, okay, if you're going to be a star and you're looking at what is happening, don't you have to now start telling yourself, more than my gift or my talent, if I'm going to go the long haul, I need to check and see, do I have the character to sustain where I'm going? Because when I get there, not only is money going to be thrown at me before I even get there, but when the money is thrown at me, can I turn it down? Will I put values and morals above my dream?
That's a good
That
point.
becomes the.
You know what's interesting? Also, go on.
So, speaking on the moral aspect, I think on the chase to success, I think morals is something that is built prior, not on the way to or at the end. Morals is something that is because it serves as a compass for you. So morals is something that is built prior. So for example, Puffy, he grew up in a single mother household. His dad passed away when he was very young. I think he was 2. His dad was a big drug dealer in Harlem. He got murdered. So
allegedly for being a
something like So growing so living in a single mother household, mom working mom working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Puff is the only child, allowed to mom's working 2, 3 jobs to help the family. Puff is doing things outside, is allowed to go outside young. Then from also the environment these people grew up in, they grew up emulating the drug dealers and the gangsters, the pimps. That is who they used to look up to. So when you look at hang out around people that sell drugs, and the trinkets, the cars, the women are what signifies success. So these guys grew up with the mentality of, when I get successful, I must have the jewelries, the this, the women. So it didn't start. There's the foundation of the moral tilted at its foundation. You understand? It's tilted at its foundation.
It's too late, but
And when you get into the industry, like the music industry, and to that pinnacle, there are things they get exposed to that also further tilts the morals. So you see a woman that normally, a very beautiful woman that a normal guy cannot get, but then she's all on you because of who you are.
Yeah.
And it is hard to
reconcile that.
it's hard to say no.
But that's the thing,
Right.
It then means that if I'm somebody that wants to go into the entertainment industry, I have to now advise myself. You have to now.
You have to have pep talks.
You have to now. Talk
I
to
agree.
yourself and be like, hold on. There's some things I need to put. Because here's the thing, right? Just on your point, right?
Yeah.
If at the seed, maybe at the genesis of it, I might not have been exposed to the things that might have given me the right morals, and that's one of the problems that we have to look at when we judge the Puffy case. Yes, P. Diddy, it's coming out that he's doing sex trafficking. It's coming out that he's coercing men to have sex allegedly.
Yeah.
He's coercing young people
Allegedly.
allegedly. All these things are happening allegedly, and so him at his core, there are things that maybe that happened at a young age that maybe would have corrupted his character and his values. But if I'm going into that industry, I have to ask myself, like, yo, if I'm looking and I'm seeing that what brought this guy down was the fact that there was compromise, right? There were values that either weren't there or values that are there but it weren't strong enough. So when I come up against the temptation, like Daniel, like Jesus, like every other person that wants to get to the top, like when I come up against these things, are my values gonna be priority or is my dream gonna be priority? So I have to then ask myself, it's not, I can't look and say, oh, I would never do that. If at this point in time, I'm compromising anything, if there's a seed of compromise, I have to be like, yo, that can happen to me. So I have to check myself now, like, yo, as someone, like, you have to eradicate compromise from your life now. You have to go back to and there's another conversation about where do I get my values from, how do I entrench them, but I have to go back to those values, faith values, family values, relationship values, and entrench them on the inside of me so that when I come up against the temptation, which you definitely will come up on the road to being a star, I'm going to make the right decision.
But then
100%.
again, what I want to add to what you said is, like, that's where also interestingly where parents comes in as well, and mentorship, right? You know what's interesting? Remember I sent you like a text with this Netflix TV show. It's like something Star Academy or whatever. Have you seen it before? I don't know, but it's like
I've seen the ad.
Yeah, so basically,
Star Academy.
Yeah, something like that.
Something about being a pop star.
Yeah, something like that. So basically, there are like 5 or 6 or 8, 10 girls or 12 girls, right? All of them, they're trying to become like pop artists, right? Like these Korean guys. And you know what's so interesting about it is, like, they've been trained, they sing, dance, all that stuff. And there was one scene where there was one girl, I think she was 17 years old or whatever, yeah? And she was one of the favorites, and she could have become now a pop star, pop artist, right? So she was training with them for at least 10 months or something like that. And then there was one scene where the producers of the company of that particular show made it look that the girls are kind of working against each other.
Yeah.
So the girl, she's like 17 or whatever, yeah, she didn't like it. The moment she realized that the producer are trying to do some dodgy stuff, she decided instantly, I realized this industry is not for me, and I'm willing to let go of that dream, and I'm going. And everybody was shocked. 17 years old.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, how can a 70-year-old like make that
decision?
Yeah, it's like a life choice, knowing she could have been part of that group who still exists to this day, and have like over 24 million views. But she made a choice based on her moral standards, knowing that that is not what I'm compromising on, and I'm willing to let go of that. And that was so impressive. Go on.
But you made a point. You touched a point. I think what I was saying that when we were having a chat before we started. If stardom is all you know, or you aspire to,
Yeah.
and you can't see any other way,
Yeah.
it's very easy for you to compromise to that.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Maybe this girl's parents are shared. If you don't become a star, you can do this. We're gonna love you anyway. You're gonna be here anyway.
There are options.
There are
Yeah.
options. You have options. So it makes that decision easier.
Yeah.
But if you sort of like looking in circumspect with other instances where maybe like in the Diddy case, like you said, he had to be successful to get out of that life.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Survival.
So it's a survival thing. So he's come out of survival.
Yeah.
He's come out of survival,
That's a very
and
good point. though.
he's gotten to where he is. So in that pursuit of survival, he's attracted so many habits
Yeah.
that now he has money to explore them. And there is no way, if you're already, like you were saying, if you're already corruptible, there's no way somebody's going to throw 3, 4, 5, $600 million at you,
You know,
that you're not going to use that money to whatever level
out
of
those
thing you want to. Yeah, because you have it. And the thing about it is, once you have the money, like you were saying, people are going to come to you. People that were not going to come to you before will come to you. Women are going to throw themselves at you.
Yeah.
People that would not make decisions because you didn't have money before, they're like, oh, this guy can get me something.
yeah.
I'll make that compromise.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So it's not just so much about you. It's all about, like I said, the environment that you're in as well.
So if you look at the Diddy case, right? So if we take a Diddy, for example, that kind of life, that kind of situation, you know, that feeds into how he becomes, maybe the things that he's aspiring to. Yes, we can look at some things that maybe a parent may have needed to have done, but again, that's difficult, you know. So we can't necessarily judge. We can learn from it as far as like checking ourselves now, like, okay, what are the am I compromising in any part of my life? Am I lying to get ahead? Am I, you know, doing, and then kind of check yourself and look and say, listen, that's what that leads to. But if I look at that Diddy case, right, there are two people involved. There is the Diddy, and you might, and again, if you go and look at the story, there you'll begin to kind of, if you do a deep dive, you begin to see how there are certain people who were ahead of him, that the things he might have been doing to other younger artists may have been done to him. So low behavior plays into some of the
100%.
the crazy things that may have happened. But there are two people who are part of that situation. There is Diddy, then there are the people who are coming into Diddy's already now a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
You have people who now, I want to be a star, or
Yeah.
I want to get to the top. They're not the gatekeepers. They're the people who may have come, who are coming just, you know, like you said, the young lady. My question is always like how does that person, if somebody's listening now and they want to go into that industry,
Yeah.
what are some, like, how do they prevent themselves from falling victim to the gatekeepers? Because Diddy's not the first one. You have the Muhammad
certainly not the
Al-Fayeds,
last.
allegedly. You have the Weinsteins. No, it's not alleged.
Yeah.
No, because it's proven. Like
It's about
that's
to.
proven. But there are guys like that. There are a lot of gatekeepers now in the way that things are set up. If I'm somebody who wants to be an artist, I want to be all these things. How do I prevent myself from like falling victim to some of the things that these gatekeepers, you know, make people do?
Yeah.
How do I prevent myself from falling into that
That was a good question.
field, that mistake?
Well, how do you prevent yourself from falling into that pit hole? Well, for me personally, I'll say your dream has to be bigger than one path, right? Your dream has to be bigger than one path.
God, bro, like,
You know.
sorry, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt. You're literally like talking out of my notes.
Okay.
Like, that's crazy. Like, you're actually talking
That's
like
crazy,
the exact words.
That's
Is
Oh,
it-
really?
Crazy,
Is
bro.
it
Go
really?
ahead, go ahead.
Go.
But yeah, your dream has to be bigger than one path. Also, I would say something, then I'll intertwine it to the point I'm trying to make. I listened to one book, one of the best books I've listened to, audio book. You can listen to it on Spotify. It's 50 Cent's book. It's called Hustle
50's the guy.
Hustle Harder, Not Smarter. It's a very, very
We need a podcast with 50 Cent.
good book.
We should
That's-
do that, innit?
Yeah, we
Very,
definitely talk about 50 Cent.
very
Much to learn from that
good
guy.
Good book. He said there's one of the pages he said something, was talking about, it was, so the book is very educational as well. It talks about how you should conduct yourself, contracts, how he maneuvered in the game. So there's something he said when you are so I'll intertwine it to the point I'm trying to make. He said he was talking about contracts when he wanted to sign his 50 cent vitamin what that deal. Yeah. He said he didn't know a lot about contracts. He didn't know a lot about, there are a lot of things he didn't know about. But he said one thing he learned when he would go into a board meeting with billionaires, he said he would never come there. He said he had two personalities. He had 50 Cent the rapper and he had Curtis the businessman. He said he would always come there in a suit and, proper everything. And he said he never negotiated any contract when he was desperate. When he was desperate. That's one rule of contract, he said. He said never negotiate, especially when it comes to business, a contract.
100%.
Never negotiate when you are desperate and be willing to walk away.
100%.
So I'll intertwine. So I'll also say so in the book also he's talked about his power, his power thing. He said when he first started Power, he used to earn for every episode. He used to earn, was it $17,000? He said that was nothing to him. He's 50 Cent. What he can go on the road on a tour and make 300 mil. But he said he was, the networks didn't believe in him at first, so he had to prove his worth. So when he was earning 17K an episode, that was an insult. But he said he was willing to do that for the long run, so that when the show became big, when the show now became number one, he quickly renegotiated his contract for millions, because he had proved his worth.
Yeah.
I say that to say, value is very important in any industry. The thing is, sometimes a lot of people always you are attracted by the money. You go into a certain industry for the money.
Shortcut.
You have to prove yourself value first, because when you are valuable, you negotiate on your own terms, not
That's a
on the
good point.
terms that they bring to you.
That's a good point.
When you are valuable, you get when you're valuable. So, and also a lot of people, the reason why they compromise is because they're not that valuable. They can easily be replaced, and also they negotiate while they are desperate.
But all these are idealistic.
Right, but
All these are idealistic.
the thing is, but you asked the question that how do you?
Yeah, but it's idealistic.
Why?
That's
Why?
my point.
Why?
The reason why it's idealistic is that a lot of people's situation
Right.
does not provide them that
I agree.
what's what I'm looking
That
for?
basically option, yeah.
That option. It doesn't provide them that option.
Right.
So a lot of people are, this is my way out.
But here,
Okay.
that's the thing. I think you guys have literally punched the nail on the head. That's the thing that is on the mind
I
of these
agree.
guys. What else would make a straight man, engage in dubious, like compromise your sexuality for a contract or to get to?
But
you
you
must see it as the only way out. But the
Yeah.
question
Right.
is this: is it the only way?
Yeah, that's a good. I like that.
That's it. Like, is it the only way?
Right.
Is there only one way? Like, if you're staring, like if Joseph is looking at, just as an example, because I might not know some examples of like what people are really going through, but like Justin Bieber is 9 years old. Like, all I want to do is be a star. All I
Right.
want to do is be a star. All I want to do is the guy is so desperate. He's sitting on the street. He's playing his guitar. He's doing all these things. Like, for anybody to do that, they're desperate.
Right.
Like, how do you take that desperation and it's all you've wanted? You've had so many rejections, so many rejections, so many rejections, so many rejections, that you now get to somebody that's finally like, yeah, I'll open the door for you, but you have to do this. What makes a guy at that point in time, despite all of those things, still say, no, there's something bigger than the dream? Even
Right.
though my situation might be worse,
Right.
but there has to be faith in something.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the dream comes with a dream giver.
Right.
And for every dream and any like thing that you're called to do or you feel, there's somebody that's giving you that thing, and there's a
Opportunity.
way that they have created for you to get there, even
Yeah.
though you might not see it. So oftentimes people get into those situations and they forget the dream giver.
Right.
So they think that this is the only way.
Yeah, but no, I like what you said.
But
It's not about. It's not really about. It's not really about. But It's not really about. It's just like I want to add
Yeah,
to
go,
to
go.
to what you
Yeah.
guys saying. It's more like, I think like there's some. So that's angle number one is the morality. Angle number two is the situation. So if you come from a place of poverty and you want to come out of poverty, and you want to take care of your family and whatsoever, then of course, out of desperation, what you just said, you would do certain decisions you would normally would not do because it's just desperation, right? But then it is equally what he's is saying. It is not the only way.
It's not the
Do you understand? So it doesn't make it right. That even though, do you know what I'm trying to say? But then it also goes to see into, okay, what's next is the environment. Now, if I go into biblical ideas, it's like, okay, we know the devil's the father of lies. So he's not gonna tell me that,
there's another way.
bro, like if you become and take on the 100 million, 50 millions, for that you have to bend down.
Yeah.
I've just been real.
Yeah, no,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
He's not gonna tell you that, right? So, but he's gonna say, oh, but he will be like, oh, you see, thinking over there, you see P Diddy,
Yeah.
you know how much money he has? Yeah. Oh, do you see whatever McMill?
Yeah.
We just give him a contract of 50 mil. All you need to do is just do a little bit here and there. We can sort you out. And then you think about your mother, you think about your sister, you think about the poverty. You think, you know what I'm trying to say? And the last part I would also say is like ignorance. Like if you actually don't know.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? And you're like my role model.
And that is,
and I believe you. Like, say, bro, like, I get you.
and
That's-
that
do you know
I
what I'm saying?
think is actually the crux of it all, because, like I said, all these things we're saying very idealistic, but most times people are ignorant. They feel they have no choice. They're in the wrong environment, and when all of these three things come together, it will make someone just say, well, you know, every day there are bills piling up. Somebody comes to say, oh, this is a way out. What you have to do is this. And you sometimes it might not even be a big compromise. Like we're even talking like a high thing. It could even start. It could even start as a small thing. It might just be. It might just be.
It's a little compromise.
Yeah, a little compromise might just be. You know what? I know you want to sing, but just you don't have to sing. Just auto tune for this concept.
I hear that.
And you know what I'm saying? It's like small things. So over time, you've been doing these small things,
Exactly. That's
and
another
then
thing that
it kind of like goes back to the what's the
that's
other
deep
guy
voice.
thing.
Okay.
When you start, because what he basically was doing was compromising people, but it starts with small compromise, and then when the compromises are so big that he knows your reputation can be destroyed, then he comes to you like, boom, all right, now you gotta do this for me. So it always starts like that. So the
Which is
thing,
what Diddy was doing.
exactly. So
Allegedly drugging people
And
to
taping
come
them.
to parties,
Yeah.
taping them,
Wow.
and now that's blackmail.
that's blackmail.
And yours
That's
crazy.
crazy,
Imagine
though.
being one of those people where you knew you shouldn't have gone to that party. You just knew that, like, tonight, let me not go to this party. But and you know that there are Christian artists that would go.
Of course, the pastor.
There are pastors that would go to these.
What's
parties.
his pastor's
It's just-
name?
Which one?
What's his name?
I mean, we're still gonna respect them.
What's
I agree.
his name? What's it?
I-
Allegedly,
TDJ.
it's still
Allegedly.
Allegedly that he went to his party.
allegedly.
You know,
There are pictures now.
Confirmed?
No, there are pictures.
I mean, I've seen pictures with him and Diddy. But
In Diddy's parties, but you
But-
know, obviously the extra stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
we don't know.
but you know,
But
so funny. Like since that scandal came out, everybody's now asking, like, what did this pastor doing with him? But ultimately, I don't know.
I don't
I
think
think it's-
the
I think it
pastor
goes
being
back-
with him is even the problem. Is the
It's not a problem.
So
to be
yeah,
fair.
but
I think it goes back to the what's that Bible verse? Bad company corrupts good manners.
Yeah.
So it sometimes it will literally not matter how good you are. You could literally be a saint. But if you
can
roll
just be
around
standing
bad
around,
company,
yeah,
so
and you follow those
and you
guys
follow
and
those
they
guys,
went, and
anyone
you
will
see
look at you and
them
thinking, yeah, you're one of them.
But you know what though? That also speaks to that thing about community. Like,
Yeah.
And again, I feel we're looking at this from two sides. We're looking at this from the side of like, okay, we're trying to analyze all the things that might inform why a person would be in that situation, and what can we possibly do to prevent people who are watching this or who are on their way there from getting into those things. And you said something which was like knowledge, right? But like community is a big thing as well. Like not having,
Massive.
like there's sometimes it might not even be like knowledge. Like if I have, there are people in my life that are above me, like leaders in my life. There's some things I may not know why
Yeah.
this thing is wrong, but because I have this person in my life that I have to explain my life to,
Yes.
I have to explain this decision
Yeah.
that I just made.
Yeah, I was
to
going to bring that
somebody.
out.
It's
Or
accountability.
if it's
so-
about
Yeah.
accountability above you, accountability peers,
Yeah,
accountability people you lead,
yeah.
those things add an extra dimension.
But what
because-
about those who are already in that field, do the thing, but they don't tell you?
It's harder.
But these are also your accountability, like people. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah.
What about that one? That's also like a good point.
No,
What about
true.
this?
Yo, but community can help.
Yeah.
It can. It can. And there are different measures you can put in place.
Yeah.
You can put community in place. Then there's the knowledge, like the knowledge thing exists. And that's why a podcast like this exists. Is we're
Yeah.
trying to bring the knowledge of like, what are some of those values that one ought to have?
Yeah.
Like, and then there's the thing that really is at the bottom of the whole thing, which is like, I don't think of, for my message to anybody who wants to be in the entertainment industry or wants to be at the pinnacle of anything is like, look at the people that are falling and then have a think is like, if I don't do anything different, I'm likely to end up that
If
way.
I do nothing now,
If I do nothing now, I'm likely to end up either as the people who have to compromise towards the gatekeepers or as a gatekeeper making other people compromise.
Yeah.
So I have to develop a relationship with God.
Right.
Yeah.
I have to develop my relationship with God and not just be like a title Christian or be like a attending Christian. I have to really, because some of the strength comes from the Holy Spirit, right? And some of the knowledge and the values come from my faith. But I feel like anybody going into that industry has to look now and be like, guys, we have enough examples to say like, when your soul has no anchor, there's nothing like
Can't be
there's no
swayed.
the spirit of this. The Bible says the love of God, it constrains you. There's nothing on the inside of you that's holding you. Like
Right.
that's not the way. There's a way that seems right to a man, but the end is destruction. There's nothing giving you like, yo, don't
That's
go
good
there.
Yeah.
scripture,
You'll go there. If that's not at the bottom of it, you're destined for.
you'll be swayed.
That solves the problem of like, it doesn't matter where I came from. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter the circumstance I
Yeah.
came from. If I have this anchor as
Yeah.
a relationship,
But you have to have that revelation, though.
yeah. So
You have to have that revelation.
Somebody has to be praying for people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The people
You
who
have to
don't
have
know-
that revelation.
Yeah, but-
Because without that revelation, all like I said, always seen is idealistic stuff. Because without that revelation, you can
I
now,
like what he said.
you can without it, you end
what
up,
he
you know,
said,
you
though.
end up all of this knowledge around you,
Yeah.
and it just goes back to what I was
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
about
yeah.
the crypto stuff.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
did not know.
But somebody has
But,
to.
know what I mean?
but look at in this situation, right? You don't even have to have the revelation by itself.
Wait, how much
The-
revelation do you need to know not to bend
wait,
down?
yeah. So
How much revelation do you
it's-
actually need to know?
that's
Like,
what-
you can't tell me
that's
that,
what-
guys,
No, but-
that is what this thing is
that
wrong.
is what.
But
But
we-
Hold on,
we
let
look-
me- let me
wait,
finish.
hold on.
Let me
That's what I was
finish.
trying to say. That you don't need any
How much teaching do you need to
incredible revelation where an angel appears to you, whatever. If just by living day to day, what you see is a revelation enough.
Yeah.
You see these people that read the pinnacle fall down. And also one thing that I wanted to say too is ambition is a very good thing. Having ambition is a very good thing. There's nothing wrong with ambition. But selfish ambition, because you can have a level of ambition whereby you are willing to do anything
Yeah.
to bend down, to kneel down, anything, to do anything to you're willing to do anything to get to where you want to go to, because that ambition is so it's so selfish, it's so I don't care.
But I think again, like we say, like this
So
is why
interesting. I like that what
Yeah.
you say, but continue. I just want to add something to what you said, but continue.
I'm
You know-
just
continue.
gonna be quick here, because this sort of like comes down to what I say about this idealism, is that you can't say how you're not seeing what's going on in the world, because right now we're in an age of where truth is not the truth anymore. The truth has been polluted, distorted. So especially for young people coming up, that thing you're saying, like, how do you not know? To them, they could have
Yeah.
5 different explanations to that
Yeah.
one thing that this is the way, but they have 5 different explanations. So we're looking at older generations actually, but when we start looking at younger people,
It's gonna be even
it's gonna be
worse.
worse.
It's gonna be even
Yeah,
worse.
Because they don't know. They don't know, because you don't know what's right or wrong. Everything is right, and,
Yeah.
and we're now in an age now where everybody is a king unto themselves.
Exactly.
My way.
Exactly. So no accountability.
So no accountability. As long as it's doing my way, my
But does that mean that
I
they
hate
don't
that
know?
word?
But-
That way, so I live in my
But does that
truth.
mean
Oh
they
my
don't know this is right?
gosh.
Which is what is right and wrong.
Like, isn't that what compromise is? Compromise is basically, I know this is wrong, but
I'll
there's
do it
room
either way.
inside me for it to be done. It's kind of okay.
Yeah.
Which kind of means that like
Okay, but
Doesn't
then,
mean that
hold
you
on.
don't know that it's
you
right.
don't
though.
know that you can know it's wrong, but you're like, it's okay to do.
Right.
Okay, but then the question is this, yeah? That's the question. At what point is compromise okay? So for some people, they would say, okay, you know what? I'm compromising because I need to take care of my family. I need to take care of my mom and whatever, right? And some people that have different type of reasons that actually they have morally right reasons for compromise. So at what point are we saying, okay, even though is there an area where we can, okay, even though you know we compromise, but then it's okay? Do we understand it, or is it more like
we can? I feel like we can understand why people fall in compromise. We can understand, but like we also have to, like, the understanding doesn't solve the consequence.
Right.
There's a consequence to compromise. Like, so us, like Diddy now is in jail.
Right.
So there's a consequence to compromise. It just might not hit you right away, which is why compromise
Yeah.
gets worse and worse.
Yes.
But like just to kind of go back to like trying to come up with a solution, because we have people that already don't know the right and the wrong thing and are already going down a
It's
certain
gonna be
path.
crazy.
Us talking about this might not be the solution because like they already think this is the way to go.
Yeah.
And they already don't have those values
Yeah.
and may not have access to it. So what it tells me is that there has to be a people that take responsibility for those that don't know.
100%.
Because and that's the non-idealistic. I think because
Yeah.
what you say is correct. All of it is
Yeah.
idealistic, and it might touch on the people who know, who inside them know, like, I know this is wrong.
I know this is
I
wrong, but
I
I'm
have the
doing
values.
it.
But for those who don't have the values at all, who are blind,
Yeah.
there has to be a people that take responsibility for the next generation
Yeah.
or for their generation and say, you know what, I care about, or I don't want to see more people fall into those things. Like my favorite rappers are people that are going to these parties and doing all these things, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And there are people who are coming up now. So to not be idealistic, in order to get people to see, there have to be people that are praying.
so just to end up the whole session,
To wrap it up,
just to wrap it up, what we discussed today is about what accountability, right? Compromise,
why is it important? What are the
Effects
things?
of compromise.
values, what else?
Some of the solutions,
Mentorship,
Community.
community.
but
So
solving it as well. Like,
so that's
how do
our first episode for today. You know, Mama, I want to
Been
become a
watching Mama,
star.
I want to be a star.
I want to be a star. That's the first episode today. I hope you guys enjoy it. And we're going to continue with something banging. Please leave something at the comment section